questioned all over, and a lot of people are asking me that question, and I know the Washington Post asked me that question today, and all I know is that a lot of people are talking about it. I hope it's not so. I hope it doesn't come about. But people are worried that if he weren't born in this country, which he wasn't, he was born in Canada, and he actually had a Canadian passport along with a U.S. passport until just recently, I mean, like within the last couple of years. So I don't know what it all means. I know that other people are talking about it. The problem is that if the Democrats bring a lawsuit, the lawsuit could take years to resolve. And how do you have a candidate where there's something, over the head of the party and that individual? So I hope it wouldn't be the truth. I hope that wouldn't be, what it is. And we'll find out, I guess. I mean, Ted will be able to answer the question, hopefully satisfactorily. I hear a couple of states have a problem with it, too.
You put out a tweet today suggesting that you jumped the shark on this one. You haven't been critical of him, but now it seems you're stepping up that criticism?
No, this was really a question given to me. I know nothing about it. I really know nothing about it. And I hope this would not be a reason for disqualification. So hopefully he'll have the answers.
You got a big endorsement today, Andrew Hemingway,
yes.
A very influential conservative activist here. I was talking to him, and he said, while he likes Ted Cruz, he had endorsed Cruz before you. You're here all the time. You're campaigning in New Hampshire. Ted Cruz really isn't. Do you think Ted Cruz is shortchanging New Hampshire?
Well, perhaps so. I think he's got all his onions in the old basket of Iowa, and that's fine. But he hasn't been here very much. I don't think he intends to be here very much. I'm here all the time. And I've spent a lot of time in Iowa, too. I'm doing really well in Iowa, and we're doing really, really well right here. So we're very happy with it. And I guess he hasn't been here, but Andrew is a fantastic guy. And, we're very honored that he came with us. I mean, he left Ted's campaign to come with us.
I got to ask you, what happened last night in Lowell? For a week, you had been talking about Bill Clinton, his past sexual infidelities, and then maybe the media made too much of it, but there was no mention of it last night.
Well, I wanted to give it all a break. I mean, I brought it up, and it was something that I think had to be said because they were saying lots of things about other people, including myself, in terms of sexist. And I will say there is nobody that has more respect for women than I do. Nobody. And nobody's going to do more for women than I do. And that includes Hillary Clinton. And I'm going to do something for everybody. I'm going to make our country great, but I'm going to make our country safe. And nobody's going to be able to do that like I will do it. And Hillary Clinton wouldn't know where to start. And she doesn't know where to. I mean, she actually gave us ISIS, if you think about it, with her very dumb policies. So, so I brought it up. They certainly haven't said anything. And I was mentioned 9 times during their debate. And now they're not mentioning. So perhaps what I did served good purpose.
Paul Steinhauser joins us now, along with CNN Chief National Correspondent John King. John, I mean, to be fair to Donald Trump, he was asked, or apparently asked about Ted Cruz's citizenship by the Washington Post, didn't necessarily bring it up himself, but it's hard to believe he didn't know exactly what he was doing when he responded. I mean, it's interesting, he says, I don't know anything about it, but I'm hearing people talk.
Yeah, I mean, we could stop talking, you just replay what he just told Paul there over and over and over again, because that is trademark Trump. Yes, he was asked about it by the Washington Post, but he answered it. He could have said, forget about that. I've had my lawyers look into that months ago, which he did say to ABC months ago. There's nothing to it. Maybe some freak show Democrat will make an issue of it, but let's not talk about that because Ted's qualified. I'd rather debate Ted on the issues. That's what he could have said. But
to John's point, it was pretty amazing. I mean, he's saying he's not questioning Cruz's citizenship, but, he was born in Canada. That people have been asking him about it. He thinks it could be problematic, but he doesn't know anything about it. You've covered a lot of Trump rallies. Has he been getting this question a lot from voters or from the press?
No, much more from the media than from the audience. They're asking him about a lot of issues that are important to them. We're asking more about the horse race. And while Trump has a pretty big lead here in New Hampshire over Ted Cruz, it's not the case in Iowa. So, to John's point, I can see why he wants to bring this up now. He feels maybe a little heat from Ted Cruz, especially in Iowa, Anderson. Here at this rally tonight, though, he was training as a fire more on Hillary Clinton than on Ted Cruz, and it really looks like Donald Trump's trying to get into a general election mode, saying, I'm ready to take on Hillary. At first, I have to dispatch these other guys in the GOP primaries, but he's trying to focus now more on Hillary Clinton, at least when it comes to these rallies he's holding.
And John, I mean, it's interesting he's doing this in New Hampshire, not Iowa. Trump obviously still has the edge in New Hampshire, trailing Cruz in Iowa. Do you think that the Trump campaign is doubling down on New Hampshire and that this, raising this about Cruz is just part of that?
Well, that's a fascinating question because all of the candidates, even those at the top of the pack, have to make some very key strategic campaign decisions over the next several days. The clock is ticking so fast. Most of the other campaigns think that Cruz is going to win Iowa, and so you do have whether it's Chris Christie or Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio on the establishment side, this little competition about who can somebody get a strong second or more likely because they think Trump is still strong out there, who can be the third candidate to come out of Iowa. But most of those establishment guys will dip their toes in Iowa and spend almost all of their time in New Hampshire over the next 28 to 30 days. The question for Donald Trump is, his brand is winning. He says, I'm a winner, they're losers. I'm winning, I'm strong, I'm the toughest, I'm the best. Can his brand take losing? That's one of the big questions in this campaign. So that's why, look, remember a couple weeks ago he started to go after Ted Cruz. He said not a lot of evangelicals come out of Cuba. Questioned his faith a little bit. But the Rush Limbaugh, Mark Levin, and conservative blogosphere crowd went nuts on Trump, saying don't go there. We like Ted Cruz. A lot of us like you too, but don't do that. And Trump backed off. But Ted Cruz is still growing in Iowa. Everyone on the ground in Iowa tells you it is Cruz who has the momentum there right now. And I think this is a clear sign that Trump knows he is at risk of losing somewhere in the first state that votes, and so he's getting tougher.
Paul, do you anticipate further